Welcome, race fans, to the NAVSCAR Pro Series Kobalt 200 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm Mike Fair, joined in the booth tonight with my good friends Jamie Christensen and Dustin Phillips. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, Mike. Glad to be here.
Yeah, Mike, good to be with you again here in beautiful Las Vegas.
Yeah, man, I wish I was in Las Vegas right now. I got 2 feet of snow outside, and looking forward to seeing some good racing here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the guys have been really looking forward to this race. Las Vegas is definitely one of those places you can really just stay on the gas for the most part if you can get your timing right in the corners. And I think the only thing to say about that though is the track temperature, which is a little bit on the hot side tonight at 112 degrees. So, and we've only got a 2-mile-an-hour wind, so it's going to get hot out there for the drivers.
Drivers are on track right now, putting down some qualifying times. It is open qualifying here like normal. 8 minutes left to go. We've got Calvin Allison in the 28 car right now, leading the times.
Yeah, we see him down at a 29.509, and I tell you what, that's kind of speeds we saw last night in practice. And Calvin's definitely fast. Nate's put down a good lap. I'm sure we'll see a couple more guys down in the fives for sure.
You can see Calvin's bringing it to pit road. Looks like he's going to wreck that car right there, and that's going to be all he said. Well, he did a nice little donut, but looks like it's all clean. He wants to go do another lap.
Yeah, I think Calvin's he's probably pretty comfortable with that lap. That's definitely a quick lap, and coming off that win last week in dominating fashion, he's definitely looks like he's going to be fast here again tonight.
Nate LaFleur's got a second place time right now. He looks like he's happy with that shot, sitting pit road in his box right now.
I think it makes it kind of interesting. So tonight I'm looking at some different numbers, but one of the numbers that I'm looking at is the top speed around the track. Now Calvin Allison looks like his top speed around the track has been about 197 miles an hour, and Nate LaFleur is matched that, but depending on how they ran around the track, it looks like Calvin's just got the advantage there. A lot of guys with some new paint schemes as well tonight. I know Mike Abbott's pretty excited about his new paint scheme. Maybe he's running a new electronic cigarette manufacturer on that hood. Do you know exactly which one it is?
I have no idea, but it is a nice purple looking car.
Well, I'm going to look that up because I know he definitely had some interest in looking at that. In fact, I think he is running for one of his sponsors tonight, so I'd like to give a shout out to them if I could real quick.
It is definitely a good looking vehicle. A lot of good paint schemes. He's got the phone number on the back of that car there too. 234-360-8367. Not sure what it is, but give it a ring. Can't hurt.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah. Right
so
now,
I believe the sponsor... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I believe the sponsor on the car is Bunny's Vapor Lounge. And that number that you just quoted, Mike, is I would only assume is the number to Bunny's Vapor Lounge. So good looking out for Mike and his sponsor there. So good looking car.
Hey, while we're doing shout-outs, I'd like to give a shout-out to DPM's own James Skeleton. He's got a bunch of family tonight. They went to Dallas, Texas, and they drove from Charleston to see some friends, and they're sitting here watching their son, take on Las Vegas, and definitely want to give a shout-out to them and thank them for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, try and get him up on camera. I can't even find him. What position is he in right now?
Hasn't taken a lap yet, but sure won't be long.
Oh yeah, there he is. He's on the track right now in that AT&T car. Yeah, he hasn't posted a time, but he's definitely done a couple laps. I don't know if he had some damage and Maybe had his times disallowed there.
James has been pretty quick here all week. He was definitely in the top 3 last night, and he was top 3 here in practice tonight. He's definitely got a quick car. Looks to have a pretty good race. We'll see if he'll come down pit road and take him another lap here before it's over.
So what do you guys think about this track? 1.5 mile, pretty much a cookie cutter track, right?
I like Las Vegas. Sorry, Jamie, to interrupt you there, but
No.
definitely this is a fun track. The walls will close in on you pretty quick, and definitely the tire that Goodyear's brought here again this week is definitely going to cause these guys to manage their stuff here tonight, and we'll see how they do that. And I think the guy that does it the best here we'll see in victory lane at the end of the night. Jamie.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think it's one of those things, we've talked about it in practice, we've talked about it now in qualifying, but the managing the tires is probably going to be the biggest thing on these drivers' minds. With only being able to get so many laps on a run before they start falling off. Dustin, I can't remember what you said. I think you were only you did, it wasn't a very high number. I know that, but they've really got to be able to manage these to make it to the end.
Yeah, they were definitely complaining about tire wear during practice. Ricky Goodman was saying he was falling off by half a second after 3 laps. So these guys are going to have to take it easy, and we might see some interesting strategy like we did last weekend on the real NASCAR race. It was a pretty good race there.
Yeah, definitely think strategy is going to play into it here tonight. We talk about maybe being anywhere from about 39 to 41 laps here on a fuel run, and we'll see maybe a couple guys try to go through that fuel run, but times are going to fall off so bad. So it's going to be whatever team decides to make the right moves, and might definitely see some short pitting here towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some guys be a little bit aggressive here in the beginning. I know that's kind of counterintuitive of what we've talked about in the past and at past races, but I think we're going to see guys want to get up front quickly here and kind of just set the pace. And it's still a fairly narrow track, which is also going to allow for some side-by-side racing, but it's also going to be pretty close quarters. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can stay off of each other over the first few laps.
Yeah, I've been super impressed with these guys over the last couple of weeks. They've really run pretty well in the first half of the race. Better than I would have expected. So these guys know that they have to take care of their stuff early on, and when we get down to near the end of the race, you're going to see them be a little bit more aggressive and possibly willing to put some damage on their car. But that first half of the race, I've been really impressed with these guys and how they race around each other.
So in talking about top speeds, we talked about it a few minutes ago, but we've got only 2 drivers that are really sitting with that top speed at 197 miles an hour. That being Calvin Allison and Nate LaFleur. If you want to take a look at the field here real quick, Mike Abbott, who is running 23rd, who we've already talked about, he's running 195.9, 196. So he's about a mile an hour off the pace. So and the gap in between him and Calvin is literally 1 mile an hour, and there's a lot of guys in there. So I'm hoping that these guys towards the back, like Sean Butler, David Howard Jr., others, I'm hoping they're going to be able to step up their game and find some speed here out on the track.
There's something to be said about qualifying speed too, though. It's going to be a different game once we get into worn tires. So I'm interested to see what these guys can do after 20 or 30 laps.
I hear you. I think it's just going to get interesting though. If these guys didn't get a good qualifying time, which means they've got to come up through the field, and if they're going to come up through the field, like we've talked about before, that always makes for interesting racing because your car just doesn't handle as well back there in traffic.
I'm definitely surprised by a few of these guys that we're seeing here starting near the back. Their times definitely a lot slower than they were in practice. You know, you've got James Skelton, and you've got Sean Butler, David Howard, Dale Albright. You know, all those guys had pretty good speed here all week in practice, and definitely seeing them here in qualifying, not getting the kind of time they probably wanted, but we'll definitely see them work their way through the field, and it'll be interesting to watch them.
Well, speaking of that, Dustin, you know, you look at Kevin O'Brien. He ran his fastest time was 192 miles an hour, where Calvin's was 197. You're 5 miles an hour off the pace. That's going to start haunting you after a while, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. And you know, these are qualifying times. The guys, you know, really put it on the edge. But as these tires start to fade, you'll see this field definitely bunch up, and it'll be some close racing here. So we'll definitely have to see how these guys handle themselves around a lot of people in their groups.
All right, looks like the field is getting in their cars on that straightaway as we roll through the grid here. Row 4, we got Mitchell Muma, 998. Good to see him in that top pack. Row number 6, Brian Wynn, 00. He's got a really nice paint scheme on that car. Hopefully we can get some camera time for him tonight. Chris Sharp, row 7 in the 24. Keith Haney, Jeff File, row 8. Mike Abbott, William Long in the 11, row 9. Ricky Goodman starting in row 10, 20th position. Mark Bratcher in the 946, another great paint scheme from him this week. James Skelton in the 86, row 12. Sean Butler, row 13. So while we're going through the grid, guys, how about you guys got picks for this race?
Yeah, I'll go. You know, I was on the edge of picking Keith Haney. He's coming off a win over at our sister league Red Light on Monday. He won at Sonoma. But I think, to be honest with you, I'm going back with David Howard Jr. again this week.
Yeah, good, strong pick always from David. It's definitely a safe way to go. Dustin, you got a pick? Dustin might... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going. I think I'm going this week with Don Fershing Jr. You know, he definitely showed his might last week or at the end of the race, and definitely think he's one of those consistent drivers, and just a safe pick for me tonight.
And I'm going to go with, you know, he delivered for me last season a couple times, and, you know, he's about mid-pack right now, but I'm going with James Skelton. I think he's going to move up and get me some points this week as these guys roll off.
Yeah, definitely a good choice. Definitely going to see James charge up through this field for sure. Lights are out on the pace car. These guys getting ready, getting the belts tight. It's going to get exciting here, boys.
Absolutely, and I'm again real curious to see if it plays out like I am anticipating it to, in seeing these guys get aggressive from the beginning.
All right, pace cars in. Let's see what these guys got for our lap number 1 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Looks like we had a real good, clean start there. Nobody was checking up, but looks like Calvin's going to take them into 1 and 2, looking real strong up front.
Yeah, we definitely got a battle back here for the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. I mean, these guys are really battling here early. We're almost on 3 wide down the back. Definitely not going to work too much around here as this track tightens up on the 4.
It was interesting. Calvin's top speed there was 196.2, so he's about a mile an hour off slower to Dustin's point. Qualifying versus race.
Yeah, we'll see these guys. You know, they're racing. A little bit of them are racing pretty hard here to start with, so start to see tire fall off. We'll definitely keep an eye on how these guys handle it and manage the tires. It's definitely going to be a big factor tonight, whether you're here at the end or not.
Well, when you got those fresh tires, you know, you feel like Superman. You kind of want to take advantage of them and get around some of these cars.
And a real testament to these guys' driving skills. I mean, I'm just looking at the field. We've got 7 B-class drivers. The rest are all A. So, you know, that's a full field of A licensed drivers out there. That's pretty impressive.
Some good race. Go
ahead,
ahead, Jamie.
Oh, I was just saying that's a real testament. You know, we've talked about it in the past too. It's like we're kind of expecting these guys to, you know, work on that license, maintain that A license, and these guys are definitely do it. I mean, not everybody has an A license coming in. Maybe they got that B and they're trying to work towards it. But really impressed with the quality of drivers we've got here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, we've got the 921 Randy McCann. He's our first rookie in the 4th position right now. Definitely looking good here tonight in his Ford EcoBoost Ford Fusion as him and Buckley go 3 wide here with Craig Sykes. Might have to give it up here going into 3.
Yeah, that's real impressive showing by a rookie.
Josh Buckley really putting the pressure on the 921 as they get down here into turn 1. These guys are definitely putting on some good racing here early on.
Yeah, but so dangerous though. You know, I mean, we've kind of talked about Josh's driving style a little bit in the past. He's definitely one of the little bit more of the aggressive drivers. His timing around when he gets off the throttle going into the corners usually doesn't match those around him for the most part, and we've seen that cause issues in the past.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. He is definitely on the aggressive side, and most of the time it gets him in trouble. You know, we're going to have to see how he can manage his stuff tonight and really try to keep that car up front as much as he can. It's definitely going to be a key here tonight.
Now, is there a preferred line around this thing? Because I'm seeing Calvin kind of in the middle of the track in 3 and 4 and going high on 1 and 2. Is that should we be expecting that tonight?
Yeah, you know, with what I was hearing from drivers and being down on the track last night on practice, you know, a lot of guys were rim riding, is what we call it, on the high side in 1 and 2 for sure, and coming down about halfway. And then definitely it seemed like the quicker line through 3 and 4 was on the bottom, but you did have the guys also, you know, trying to top up there like we're seeing now. So you'll see guys moving around all night to try to see where their car works the best.
So with that being said, would you mess at all with the steering offset? I know some of the guys they'll take a little bit heavier steering offset to get that car to turn a little bit better, but what that also does is make the tires wear a little bit more because it's already turning even down the straightaway. Would you mess with that steering offset a whole lot?
You know, Jamie, honestly, I'm not going to mess with it too much, just because of the way I like to feel. You know, I don't want to feel like that thing's eating up any more tires than I need to, especially here with what Goodyear's brought us this week. But you're going to see guys that definitely do that. You know, Calvin's one of the best as far as his ratio that he uses. I mean, you see him week in and week out just being that guy that's consistent every single lap. And that's what it takes here to win. So, you know, we're going to see him do a good job here again tonight. And we're going to see a couple other guys come up and maybe surprise us. So it's going to be a fun, interesting race here as we hit lap 11.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting, too, because you can usually spot those drivers. They're usually pretty fast in the first couple laps. And then because they burn those tires off quicker than those guys that didn't mess with the steering offset, they usually fall back in the field a little bit.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you know, Josh Buckley here early, kind of surprised to see this. I mean, he's been fast here all week, but, you know, he started 8th and has made his way up to 2nd. Going to start trying to reel in that leader. Really, it seems to be, you know, it's hard to say if they're saving or not, but the lines that they're running, you know, these guys riding high through 1 and 2 is definitely going to save the tires a lot more.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, you mentioned Josh Buckley being able to move up those 6 spots. You know, he's not the biggest mover on the field, though. The biggest mover on the field is Sean Butler. He's moved up 7 positions since the start, and so he's definitely making some good progress. But on the flip side of that coin, Brian Wynn is also down 8 positions from where he started out. So I think that, we're seeing guys either playing different strategies or the car's not handling what like they wanted to.
Yeah, you got a good point. How do you feel about how things are going so far here tonight?
Well, I love looking at all the pack racing going on, 10th through 15th. There's a big wad of cars here as we see Haney get a little bit loose there, but it saves it. Some great racing. These guys aren't really pulling out front. There is a little bit of a gap between, the leaders, but everyone's in it right now, and I love looking at the racing mid-pack, man. It's some good stuff.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Trent Potter. Hadn't showed his face here much on the this young season, but it's good to see him here tonight. And he's made his way up into the top 10. We got a slow car on the bottom out of turn 2. We'll keep an eye on Scott Kidd there. Now, these guys coming off turn 4 here tightens up really good. We're 3 wide with 5 of Craig Sykes and Trent Potter as they come to the start-finish line. These guys are definitely battling hard here.
And did we ever capture how many laps he could get on a tank of fuel here? As we see Josh Buckley get into the wall and almost take out Nate LaFleur?
Yeah, we talked about anywhere from about 39 to 41 laps. We're probably not going to see the guys try to stretch it that far as tire wear. But, there's going to be some guys that are going to try to see what they can get out of it. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of different strategies here tonight. Just talking to a few drivers I did.
David Howard Jr. also up 8 spots along with Jason Wells, both up 8 spots from where they were at. So good showing by them. But Sean Butler has now moved up 12 positions, into that 13th spot. So he's definitely coming through the field. He's definitely got his work cut out for him tonight.
I tell you what, I was just checking lap times, and Calvin Allison's been down in the 32nd range, even here at lap 17. It's amazing to see. He just turned a 31.106, but that's been one of his slowest laps of the race. And I tell you what, he's everybody else is down in definitely the higher 31, so he's definitely got his car here prepared pretty well, and that Hooligan team is definitely